More than 110 people are dead tonight across at least 16 states. 240 million Americans remain locked in an Arctic siege that meteorologists are now calling the most punishing winter event the United States has seen in recent memory. And as of this hour, multiple new snow threats are developing from the Ohio Valley to the Mid-Atlantic and straight into the Carolinas, the very same regions still digging out from back-to-back winter storms that shattered records dating back to 1880 and 1899. According to the National Weather Service, this pattern is not letting up. A two-punch snow system is moving through today and tomorrow. An upper-level low will deliver widespread snowfall this weekend. And a major Arctic blast arriving Saturday could drive temperatures 25 to 40 degrees below normal for tens of millions of people, including on Super Bowl Sunday. By the end of this report, you will understand exactly where each of these snow threats will strike, how much accumulation to expect, and why one region along the Virginia and North Carolina border is facing its third significant winter event in less than 2 weeks. But first, there is something we need from you. If you are watching this from anywhere in the country, drop your city and state in the comments. Let us know what conditions look like where you are right now. We will do our best to reply with updates, and your reports help every viewer here understand the real picture on the ground. Here is the important part. The Ohio Valley is the first region to feel this new system, and it is already underway. As of this hour, lighter snow showers are falling across portions of Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, and Kentucky. According to forecast models, this snowfall will track steadily eastward overnight, spreading into West Virginia, and the lower Mid-Atlantic by early Wednesday morning. Accumulations from this first push are expected to remain modest, generally 1 to 3 inches for most areas along this corridor. But here is the important part. These states have already been through a punishing stretch. During Winter Storm Fern on January 24th and 25th, parts of Kentucky, Indiana, and Ohio saw 6 to 13 inches of snow and sleet, topped with nearly an inch of ice in some areas of Kentucky. That ice brought down trees, cracked utility poles, and pushed nationwide power outages past 1 million customers at the peak. In Kentucky alone, 10 people have died from this winter crisis. Little Rock, Arkansas, just to the south, shattered a snowfall record that had stood since 1899, with more than 6 inches of sleet and snow in a single day. The ground across these states is still frozen. Roads that were treated and cleared are refreezing overnight, and now this fresh round of snow is landing on surfaces that have had almost no chance to thaw. For the upper Midwest and Great Lakes, the GFS model shows an additional clipper system arriving Super Bowl Sunday into Monday the 9th, potentially delivering moderate to locally heavier snowfall from the upper Midwest through the Great Lakes and into the Ohio Valley. This is roughly 5 days away, but worth watching closely. What is developing in the Mid-Atlantic and Southeast demands even more attention. The Mid-Atlantic is in the direct path of this two-punch snow system, and for this region, the timing matters enormously. Punch number 1 is arriving now. Snow showers are expected to reach Maryland, the District of Columbia, Delaware, southern New Jersey, and southeastern Pennsylvania overnight tonight. The high-resolution HRR model shows moderate intensity during this phase, with snowfall tapering off by early Wednesday morning. But punch number 2 is the one forecasters are watching more carefully. According to the European model, a second wave of energy left over from the southeast will reorganize and push back northward late Wednesday into Thursday. This is a rain-to-snow transition event, meaning some areas will start with rainfall before Arctic air rushing and forces a changeover to a wintry mix and eventually all snow. Here is the important part. Normally, rain-to-snow transitions struggle to produce significant accumulation because the warm start melts what falls. But this time, forecasters believe the overnight timing and the sheer depth of the incoming Arctic air could tilt the odds in favor of sticking snow. Some of these mid-Atlantic areas still have snow on the ground in shaded locations from the previous systems. If this new snowfall lands on that existing base, accumulation becomes that much easier. The extended picture is sobering. An upper-level low will settle over the region Friday the 7th into Saturday the 8th, delivering light but widespread snow showers across the Ohio Valley, Mid-Atlantic, and Northeast. On top of that, another major Arctic blast arrives Saturday, plunging temperatures 25 to 40 degrees below normal. For a region where more than 2,800 flights were canceled during the bomb cyclone weekend alone, this means the disruptions are far from over. Below this snow line, the Deep South is dealing with conditions that have exposed just how vulnerable these states are to prolonged winter weather. Rain showers are falling tonight across Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Tennessee, and Alabama, fueled by the same energy driving the snow systems to the north. Arctic air is diving remarkably far south with this pattern, reaching all the way to the Gulf Coast according to the European model. But what makes this section critical is not just the forecast ahead, it is what these states are still enduring right now. In Tennessee, the power outage crisis has entered its 10th day. Nashville Electric Service recorded its worst outage in history during the January 23rd to 25th ice storm, with 230,000 customers losing power at the peak. As of February 3rd, approximately 15,000 to nearly 17,000 Nashville customers still have no electricity. Some families will not have power restored until February 9th, meaning they will have gone more than 2 weeks without heat in the dead of winter. 25 people have died in Tennessee from this crisis. In Mississippi, more than 36,000 homes and businesses remain without power heading into a second full week. This was the state's worst winter storm since 1994, affecting roughly 12,000 square miles. 292 homes have been damaged. And here is the crisis within the crisis. Families without electricity cannot boil water to comply with safety advisories, creating a dangerous public health emergency. 93 warming centers across 51 counties are serving approximately 1,220 people with nowhere else to go. Meanwhile, South Florida recorded its coldest temperatures in 15 years on February 3rd. Miami dropped to 35 degrees, breaking a record from 1909. Orlando fell to 24 degrees. Crop losses across the homestead farming region are already estimated in the millions, with one farm losing 20% of its tomato crop and another reporting 300 acres of sweet corn damaged. What is developing along the Virginia and North Carolina border, however, is what forecasters are calling the most significant threat in this entire pattern. This is the forecast that demands the most attention tonight. The Virginia and North Carolina border region is staring down its third significant winter weather event in less than 2 weeks, and for millions of people in this corridor, the situation is compounding in dangerous ways. Remember those 110 deaths, the 12 FEMA emergency declarations, and the estimated $118 to $130 billion in economic losses. For residents along this border, those numbers are not abstract, they are lived experience. Bomb Cyclone Gianna slammed North Carolina between January 30th and February 1st with historic force. Charlotte received approximately 11 to 12 inches of snow at the airport, tying a record from December 1880. In the mountains, Faust recorded 22.5 inches. Along the coast, James City saw 18 inches. More than 1,000 traffic collisions were reported statewide over that weekend alone. 2 people died on the roads. A massive pileup of more than 100 vehicles shut down Interstate 85 near Kannapolis, requiring National Guard deployment. And on the Outer Banks, 4 beachfront homes collapsed into the Atlantic Ocean, as 50-mile-per-hour winds and 8 to 12-foot surf battered the coast, bringing the total number of homes lost to the sea since 2020 to 31. Here is the important part. Now, the high-resolution HRR model is showing a new band of moderate to heavy snowfall setting up right along this Virginia and North Carolina border Wednesday evening through early Thursday. The model shows snowfall beginning as early as 5 p.m. Wednesday and lasting until approximately 5 a.m. Thursday, that is 12 hours of snowfall. Accumulations of 2 to 4 inches are indicated in some corridors, with isolated pockets near 4 inches where banding sets up most favorably. The European model supports a similar picture, showing central and eastern North Carolina and south central and southeastern Virginia receiving 1 to 3 inches broadly, with localized higher totals. This is a rain-to-snow transition event. The storm will start as rainfall for some areas before Arctic air forces the changeover. Forecasters note these events can be tricky, sometimes mixing limits accumulation. Sometimes the snowfall totals surprise, but with existing snow still on the ground in shaded locations, overnight timing favoring accumulation, and extremely cold air pouring in behind the system, conditions favor the snow sticking and building. As of today, multiple school districts across North Carolina remain closed or on remote learning. Travel is still hazardous, with ice lingering on secondary roads and overnight refreezing continuing nightly. Highway 12 on the Outer Banks remains closed due to ocean overwash. For this region, the question is not whether more winter weather will arrive, it is how much more these communities can absorb. Are they prepared for another round? Looking ahead, the weather pattern across the United States is set to deliver one more punishing stretch before any meaningful relief arrives. Through Thursday, the two-punch snow system will finish moving through the Mid-Atlantic and Carolinas. By Friday the 7th and Saturday the 8th, that upper-level low will spread light but persistent snow showers across the Ohio Valley, Mid-Atlantic, and Northeast. Some areas that already have snow on the ground could see light accumulations adding to the existing base. Here is the important part. Saturday the 8th brings the last major Arctic blast of this stretch. Temperatures will plunge 25 to 40 degrees below normal throughout the Ohio Valley, Mid-Atlantic, and parts of the Northeast. Super Bowl Sunday will be bitterly cold across the eastern fourth of the nation. For communities still without power in Tennessee and Mississippi, another night of sub-freezing temperatures means every hour without heat remains a medical risk for elderly residents, young children, and anyone with chronic illness. The GFS model shows a clipper system arriving Sunday the 9th into Monday the 10th, impacting the upper Midwest, Great Lakes, and Ohio Valley with potentially more significant snowfall. After that, both models suggest a warm-up beginning around the 10th through the 12th. But do not expect a total reversal. The European model shows temperatures cycling between above and below normal rather than a sustained thaw. That 25 to 40 degree swing from deep below normal back toward normal will feel dramatic, but it is a relative warm-up, not a genuine pattern change. Both models also show the western United States remaining extremely active, with increasing precipitation through this period. That is genuinely good news for areas that desperately need the moisture. But for the east, the GFS model hints at a major nor'easter developing toward the end of its run. At that range, confidence is low, but it is worth watching. With multiple snow threats arriving over the next 72 hours and another Arctic blast behind them, here is what you need to know. Travel across the Mid-Atlantic and Ohio Valley will be hazardous through Thursday, particularly overnight when temperatures drop and treated roads refreeze. Airlines are still recovering from more than 2,800 flight cancellations during the bomb cyclone weekend, and Charlotte Douglas Airport was among the hardest hit with over 840 cancellations. Additional delays and cancellations are likely as this new system moves through. Here is the important part. If you are in the Virginia and North Carolina corridor, Wednesday evening through early Thursday morning is your highest risk window. Roads that appear clear during afternoon warmth can become treacherous within hours, as rain transitions to snow and temperatures plummet after dark. For residents in Tennessee and Mississippi still without power, FEMA has deployed 90 generators to Mississippi, and more than 5,300 National Guard members are supporting recovery across 15 states. If you or someone you know has been without heat, contact your county emergency management office or visit one of the 93 warming centers open across Mississippi. Officials urge everyone in affected areas to keep phones charged, maintain emergency supplies of water, food, and batteries, and avoid using grills or generators indoors. Carbon monoxide poisoning has already contributed to multiple deaths in this crisis. Beyond the immediate forecasts, meteorologists are watching two developments that could shape the rest of February. First, a confirmed stratospheric warming event is expected to effectively split and collapse the polar vortex by mid-February. According to forecasters, this would lock in continued cold for the eastern United States through at least the rest of the month. The Climate Prediction Center's outlook shows high confidence for below-average temperatures across the Great Lakes, Northeast, and even the Southeast for the entirety of February. Second, total snowfall projections from both the European and GFS models have shown a significant uptrend in the past 24 hours for the Great Lakes, Ohio Valley, Mid-Atlantic, and Northeast. Compared to yesterday's model runs, the increase is notable. The GFS model shows particularly elevated snowfall totals for the Plains, Midwest, Great Lakes, and the entire Eastern Corridor. Meanwhile, the western United States continues to show an extremely active pattern with increasing snow totals. For communities already dealing with damaged infrastructure and historic power outages, this extended cold signal means recovery will be slow. Officials estimate up to 100 additional homes on the Outer Banks could be at risk of collapse within 5 years as coastal erosion accelerates. The choices communities and leaders make now about hardening power grids, upgrading road infrastructure, and protecting vulnerable residents will determine how prepared the country is when the next system arrives. In summary, here is what you need to remember. The Ohio Valley and Upper Midwest are seeing snow now, with 1 to 3 inches expected and a clipper system possible by Super Bowl Sunday. The Mid-Atlantic faces a 2-punch snow system tonight through Thursday, followed by widespread light snow this weekend and an Arctic blast, dropping temperatures 25 to 40 degrees below normal. The Deep South is still reeling, with tens of thousands without power in Tennessee and Mississippi, and record cold reaching all the way to South Florida. And the critical zone along the Virginia and North Carolina border is bracing for 12 hours of snowfall Wednesday evening through Thursday morning, with 2 to 4 inches possible in some areas, on top of historic damage from bomb cyclone Gianna that has already caused more than 1,000 traffic collisions and collapsed homes into the ocean. Here is the important part. This winter has already shown what happens when extreme weather meets aging infrastructure and communities caught unprepared. More than 110 lives lost, billions in damage, families sitting in the dark for 2 weeks. The pattern is not over. Stay informed, stay prepared, and look out for the people around you who might not be able to weather this alone. If this forecast helped you understand what is coming, consider subscribing and turning on notifications so you never miss an update. And tell us in the comments, what is the situation like where you are right now? Are you still dealing with outages, ice on the roads, or damage from the last storm? Your reports help everyone watching prepare for what is ahead.